This is the game that changed the way I look at games. It's what started me searching for the emotional experiences in games, not only the fun. The game lets the player see the world through the eyes of a flower, to experience its dreams and its insecurities. Now, in case you're wondering why anybody would actually want to play a video game about flowers, well, here's the best way I've found to explain that. The current impression of the mainstream video game market is that it's about action, violence, competition, sport, things of this nature. And you're not going to hear me saying that this is inherently a bad thing. I love games like God of War. Devil May Cry. And Burnout. No, all I will say is that if you look at the emotional experience that these games evoke, it's relatively primal. As humans, we're capable of more than this. Yes, these are fine in their place, but there's an entire spectrum of emotion that we can experience. The philosophy behind this game's development was to bring a different range of emotion than what mainstream games tend to offer. So in other words, the game is different, and you really should experience it. The game has received numerous awards and critical acclaim. The graphics are stunning. Every blade of grass reacts to the wind, and the soundtrack is equally amazing. Some of the most relaxing sounds I've ever heard. The control feels perfect. It's simple and intuitive. Even my 8-year-old cousin figured it out. All you do is tilt the controller in the direction you'd like to go, and then press any of the buttons to blow the wind and move you forward. Every button does the same thing. It's hands down the best example of the PS3's tilt control. No other game I've heard of has implemented the tech as well as this game does. So because of the simplicity of the control scheme, the player can simply focus on the sights and sounds that the game has to offer. And they are amazing. And the game isn't just eye candy with a relaxing atmosphere. It explores something more meaningful, the tension between urban bustle and natural serenity. The game uses the environments, music, and short interludes between each dream to tell a simple, poignant narrative. I've decided though that in order for you to see this, I need to talk you through the game and not just talk about the game. I'd like you to see the kind of experience the game offers in case you never get around to playing it yourself. If you plan on playing the game soon, be warned, there are spoilers. The game begins with this humble scene. A rundown apartment in the middle of a dark city with a single, wilted flower on the table. The flower, oppressed and fearful of the urban reality, seeks to get away from its troubles and its dreams, where at least it can return to nature. The first two dreams are escapist fantasies that take place in completely natural environments, devoid of anything about the city. This first dream is an idealistic natural environment. It could easily be compared to a work of art from the classical era. This second dream is much more exaggerated and expressive by using vibrant, though unnatural colors. And this is also comparable to the Romantic movement in art, which uses very strong and expressive colors. There's even a section in the dream where you get to paint with these expressive colors. Everything about these first two dreams is aesthetically beautiful. The music and the visuals do a perfect job of bringing comfort and relaxation, like a good dream ought to. In the third and fourth dreams, things like windmills, electricity pylons, and streetlights start to become a part of the dreams, alongside the serenity of nature. This change represents a flower's effort to reconcile these two seemingly conflicting realms, natural and urban. Well, reconciliation fails when, in a shocking scene, an electricity line is swallowed by a black corruption. This corruption represents the flower's fear of the city, and it shows that fear can even pollute our dreams. Dream 5 is the flower's worst nightmare. The dreamscape, once a sanctuary for the flower, becomes a battleground. The sky is veiled by thick rain clouds. Colors are dark and washed out, and the flower is exposed to harm. The once harmonious tones of the flowers are now painfully dissonant. The steel frames that cover this place represent the worst aspects of the city, and these structures reach out like claws from the ground. In the final dream, the flower conquers the corrupted frames of its old fear in glorious triumph, and then brings new life to the entire city. I'd like you all just to notice, the flower doesn't find freedom by returning to nature. Instead, the flower confronts its fear. The message is not that the city is evil, but that the urban and natural realms can coexist in a beautiful harmony. Flower is a game that is also a work of art. It conveys a worthwhile message that relates to human experience. It communicates that there can be a harmony between seemingly dissonant things, and it does so through the use of a subtle narrative told through the eyes of a flower. This is a creative and original experience that is worth remembering.